I did Gather. Did the Wolf. I did Tribune Tavern. That was my last. Tribune Tavern was the last restaurant I worked at before the pandemic. Yeah.
Got you.
And that's when
we started fucking around.
Yeah. So you met him at the dinner. He comes to dinner, says hi to you.
Well, that was we met, but we wasn't really like I was out. You know what I'm saying? We was like I was on some brunch shit. Like, this was like 2000 what? 15.
Yeah, it's 2015.
Like 2000. So I hadn't. That was like the first time I had spoken to him, but I hadn't seen him after the fact until we were working for Paula LeDuc.
Gotcha.
Now Paula LeDuc is like the largest like fine dining like catering production in the Bay Area. You know
gotcha.
What I'm saying? So I like when I first moved out here, like my story, like my shit wild.
We're gonna go back, baby. Let's go back.
Yeah, we can. All right,
Maryland.
All right.
So Maryland. Where were you born?
You know what I'm saying? Born and raised in Montgomery County. You know what
Dope.
I'm saying? Like, so I grew up in Silver Spring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And it's like I grew up out there and just living with my peoples. Like we just always like Sundays was like the only like I'm not gonna say it was like the only good day in the house, but it was like the only day that felt normal because we was always everybody was pitching in with the food and shit.
Got you.
Yeah,
that's legit.
Yeah, so I caught the bug from a friend of mine. He actually was working at IHOP and shit. And it was an IHOP we all used to go to after we went out and we faded, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is when we're like 17, 18, like, you know, it's Maryland, it's like a drinking town, so it's like the homies, we just be drinking brews, playing beer pong. We go to IHOP and shit.
Yeah.
And I used to think it would be so crazy to have to wait in a restaurant for like almost an hour before you can sit down and eat. And I'm thinking about the people that have to cook the food. I'm like, bro, these niggas must be having an awful time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how originally I'm just like, these niggas just must be, you know. So, but then like when you sit there, you finally sit down and you look in the back and the homies are like laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they just crushing it. They talking to each other. It's just the fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? It, like as a young kid, like because like I didn't grow up with my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the youngest of like 6. You know what I mean? Like so like I always wanted to have like a gang of homies that was like a band of misfits. You know what I'm saying? And that it just looked tight. So like I started I just started doing that shit and like that's where I caught it, but like
that was your first job.
Yeah, but I worked. I wasn't fucking with the bread. Like the money was just. So look, I was like, it just wasn't enough, right? So I started messing around in the front of the house. So I started, that's how I got experience being a bar back, and I went to like bartender school. So
dope,
like basic cocktails and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always had my hands in on that. And then I moved to Philly.
Got you. What prompted that move?
So that was me going to art school. That's when I started doing the culinary.
So that was sort of the interest when you were younger, the arts.
So my mom always had me in the kitchen. You know,
right.
Like I was on her bumper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, what you cooking? She like food, and she's like, come in the kitchen. Like you want to find out? Like come get your hands in.
Yeah,
so I'm like, all right. So I always had my hands in, but I would say. After I left, I went to an HBCU. I went to Bowie State. You know what I'm saying? And I just really didn't enjoy my like collegiate experience there. I felt like understimulated. You feel me? Because I was just like I just felt like the traditional school model just wasn't for the way I learned. Like as a forward thinker and a creative, like I needed to have my hands on something. So, So once I started thinking about art school, that's when I dropped out. You feel me? And I moved from Maryland to Philly. And I started going to the Art Institute of Philadelphia, and Sally Mae spanked me for like I went there for like 3 years. I went there for like 3 years. Yeah, I went there for like 3 years. Yeah, they spanked me for like 70 bands. You know what I'm saying? About 70 bands. You know what I'm saying? Like I paid off like 40, and then they absolved the rest of that debt because they found out that it was a scam at the school I was going to.
No shit.
The Art Institute of Philadelphia was a scam. Yeah, they were giving the loans to people that they knew couldn't pay it back. Which is another reason why Sally Mae ended up going under and having to change her name to Navient.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I
don't know if y'all hip to that, but
I pay them money every month. Though.
So you're sharp. Yeah, you're sharp. So it's like So it's like. Yeah, it's like, oh no. At first, I was ready. I was like, y'all can catch me in traffic. Like I was ready to duck it too. But once I looked into it, and I found out about all the information in regards to the actual financial institution involved for absolving the debt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was really no company responsible. So it's just like, y'all just keep sending me in circles. So who am I paying?
Yeah.
Like everything certainly seems like a scam to me. So it's like, and a lot of people found out about that. So it turned into this huge like class action lawsuit.
Got you.
Yeah, they spanked and bam.
Were you part of the
Oh yeah,
class action lawsuit?
yeah. I mean, like everyone that went to the Art Institute for a specific period of time, like, you know, once all you had to do was just let people know that you went there. Like it was already happening.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I triggered it. You feel me? Like I just got hip to it, and I was just like, oh yeah. But anyway, like while I was in Philly, that's when I started working with the Steven Starr Restaurant Group.
Right.
So they're responsible for like concepts in Philly, like Morimoto, Budokan. They're in Philly and New York. Star Restaurant Group has, I don't know, maybe 20 restaurants or more in Philly.
Yeah.
And probably in New York as well. They're in DC too. Le Diplomat is in DC. Down in Miami, they got a really nice steakhouse. So I was exposed to the restaurant group, and I had the opportunity to jump around because I told them I was still in school at the time. You know what I'm saying? So being a student at the Art Institute and then also working for the Steven Starr Group, I had an opportunity to really fuck around. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just working everywhere.
Gotcha.
So
is that how they did it? They just kind of moved you from restaurant to restaurant?
Yeah, like more or less, because I also needed like an internship.
Gotcha.
For like while I was in school, like you have a class where you're responsible for a certain amount of work hours. Like,
right.
Actually getting experience in restaurants. So yeah, man, that shit was cool. Like fucking around with the Steven Starr Group, but again, it was just like the money. Like bitch, you know what I'm saying?
It doesn't add up, man. It doesn't add up.
Because when I was young, like first of all, the Art Institute did not have a meal plan, and we lived in the dorm that was basically like an apartment in the middle of the city. You feel me? So it's like we didn't have a cafeteria to go to, bro.
Oh.
And we technically weren't allowed to take food from the cooking class,
which was so fun.
You know what I'm saying? Like technically, if you we weren't allowed to bring like Tupperware or anything. Like they were like, no, y'all can't. Y'all got to eat this shit here, and it's getting thrown away.
Yeah.
So
that's a fucking big problem.
Yeah. So you know, I was selling things.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I was selling things. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of make ends meet. Like on top of getting like, you know, a very small check for working like 2 or 3 days in a restaurant.
Man.
So it's like,
especially when you're young and black and on your own.
Yeah, so it's like once I found out, and I'll tell you, this is when I made the decision to be a private chef. A dude came to our class and interviewed, like he was doing like a presentation. Like the teacher were like, oh yeah, this guy, he's a private chef. He just like cooks for like different people in the city, and you know, he's here to tell you guys about his job experience.
Yeah,
and I mean, homie was like. He was like a big dude. Like he wasn't really put together very well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he just looked ridiculous, honestly. And I was just like, and he was talking about the money he was making. And that's when I started taking him serious. I was like, bro, how much do you make, you know, like maybe a month? And he was like, you know, it depends. But like, you know, on busy months, you know, I might make like 10, 12 grand. And I was like, what? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, say less, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to apply everything that I've learned. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he just looked dusty. I was just like, no, I can do this better. I look better. Like I can make this happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whatever he's doing, I can definitely do it better. Like get it done faster. Like all that shit. So like, so that's when I was like, you know what? Like I'm about to move to Cali.
Yeah.
This was probably like, so I moved from Maryland to Philly. This was 2008, 9. It was like when Obama became president. That's when I jumped from city to city, and then from 2009, 10 to like 2013, I lived in Philly, and then I jumped from there here in 2014.
Got you. How'd you make that switch? You know somebody here? Or you just come?
No. Oh yeah, so I had a homie out here.
Yeah,
and I was just a homie on the couch. You know what I'm saying? But like, I got a job like maybe a week of being out here because you know I put the Steven Starr Restaurant Group on my resume. So
right, and you had all that range from all the things that you've done.
Yeah, they're like get him in. So I was working downtown in San Francisco off of Powell Street. at this restaurant called Blueston Brasserie.
Okay.
It's off Yerba Buena, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
They're right at the top. They're gone now, though. They closed. But the chef was from Philly. He was a younger guy, but we banged heads like right away. He just wasn't fucking with it.
Yeah.
He was like you asked too many questions, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he made some fried chicken that was trash, and then they asked me to like redo the recipe because he put like cornflakes in his dredge. He put cereal in his dredge. So he's a child, right? So he's a child. So I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, big boxes of cornflakes. I'm gonna air him out now because I never bothered to air him out before. But yeah, Blueston Brasserie, what was his name? I don't even remember homie name. I don't remember your name.
Damn, that's funny. I used to go to this place. One of our fucking dining halls in college. They used to do Captain Crunch. And that shit was delicious.
I can understand that.
See, maybe a little sweet,
yeah, for sure.
But my man was just doing like cornflakes, and it was like a bad.
Like that as a cereal.
Yeah, it was just bad across the board. Yeah, it was just bad across the board. So homie cut me loose, but like every check that I got from there, I kept, and I just started an LLC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I might have been here maybe 3-4 months before I had a functioning LLC like off the ground. You know what I'm saying? And I was just doing like, and I was living in a nice neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I was the homie on the couch, but I had like a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Some of the homies that lived in my building, they worked for the Raiders. They were playing for the Raiders. Like some of them were playing sports. You know what I'm saying? So I was just doing like meal prep, like dietary restriction for like pro athletes for a little bit.
Oh, dope.
So you know what I'm saying? Like started, and they were very overzealous. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like in the building,
right?
Like they didn't have to like leave to get food. You know what I'm saying? They were just like, bro, this shit is sweet. So they was just paying me. You know what I'm saying? So like, that shit was cool, and I just tucked my bread and just kept coming up with plans. You know what I'm saying? So I started doing supper clubs, not supper clubs, but like pop ups for real.
Got you. What year was this?
This was 2015.
15.
Yeah,
okay.
I was working. Downtown in Oakland off 17th Street in between Webster and Franklin, this little restaurant called Stag's Lunchette. They're still there now, but there's a Korean fried chicken spot in there called Aburia.
Is it dope?
Yeah.
I get some fried chicken after this.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I ain't going front. But yeah, Banchan does sound good too. Shout out to Banchan because they everywhere. Yeah, so I'm at Stag's, you know what I'm saying? My homegirl, she owns a spot. Her name's Lexi. She's an amazing business owner in the area. She owns a few bars. Like, she's fucking solid. She, like, gave me the keys out here for real. She introduced me to, like, a lot of really big heavy hitters and stuff in the area, like people that are, like, connected, that can get me resources, that'll give me the benefit of the doubt if I need a space, like, all types of shit. Like, she gave me the keys, you know what I'm saying? So I did a pop-up where I was doing jerk chicken first, you know what I'm saying? I did a jerk chicken pop-up. Like, it's the same stuff that we're doing today at the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. I did 100 pounds of jerk chicken. Like, that's what I bought. I was sold out in an hour and a half. 100 pounds. Gone. Rice and peas, all that shit.
Yeah.
Everything. Cleared out. So that shit was amazing. I was like, oh, this shit is tight. Like, people in the community, like, really are grabbing hold of this. Yeah, so after that, then I did like a fried chicken with like macaroni and cheese. Like, cause I did like, it's like in DC, it's like you can go to Chinese food spots and you can get chicken and mambo sauce.
Right.
So mambo sauce is just like a condiment that you can get from any Chinese food spot.
Okay.
It's basically for the fried chicken, you know what I'm saying? So I started doing fried chicken and mambo sauce pop-ups. And then people who are from my area who live here started finding out that I was doing it. So hella people are coming. Because there's hella transplants from out here.
100%.
Like, a lot of people 100%. That live here right now are not from here. So it's like, once I got hip to the fact that there's transplants, one, from where I'm from, and then two, people that are community driven, and then three, like, black people that support, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, nah, like, I'm sitting on a gold mine with this pop-up shit. So I kept doing them shits, you know what I'm saying? And, like, people, like, I started meeting more and more chefs. And that's how I met Daniel Copper. And he's the head chef at Paula LeDuc. He's been there for fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, you should probably come work for me. It's like an independent contractor thing where you sign a 1099. We send you the jobs and you accept them or you don't.
Or you don't.
Yeah. So he slid in my DMs, bro. Like he peeped me. I was in Tahoe, bro. I was in Tahoe, bro. I was in Tahoe sitting. I was sitting on the balcony, bro. I was tripping on mushrooms.
Yeah.
And dead ass, bro. Like dead ass. He hit me and he was like, bro, you should really come work for me.
You're like, you called me at the right time.
I'm like, bro, like, you know